Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I started early. I should try that again.
Yeah.
Now that they can hear us. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey. No.
Oh, goodbye.
Look, it was my second introduction of the night. That's usually what that is.
Okay.
Try this a third time. Hi, guys. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Not Commerce. Jesus, I'm reading. Okay, fuck this. Hi, Scribe.
I'm done.
That doesn't hurt you in any way.
It does. It hurts my sensibilities, my professional sensibilities.
You'll be fine. How you doing, Scribe?
Dude, I'm tired. It had to be 12:30, 1 a.m. last night, and outside I had the window or the back door or sliding glass door open because it was hot in here, and all of a sudden out on the street I hear yelling, "Help! Help! Help!" And I'm like, what the fuck? And it took me a minute because I was kind of coming out of sleep and I thought, I was dreaming or something else. And just over and over, somebody screaming, "Help, help." I'm like, what the? So I put on my robe, go out on the deck, and it's apparently been going on for a couple of minutes at that point because one of my neighbors was running out there going like, "Shut the fuck up." and there was somebody across the street who was outside, just a couple people, and they were like, "We've already called 911." And she's like, "Help! Help!" And it's just over and over and over. And I couldn't see who it was or what was going on because there was a tree in the way. But then she started changing it up, saying, "Help! It sucks to be homeless. Help! Help!" And I'm like, "Oh, that's sad." And it's like, "I'm in pain because I'm homeless. The government did this to me." And on, just over and over. And finally, a cop shows up, and it kind of quiets down for a minute or whatever. And I try to go back to sleep, lay back down. I kind of doze off again, and then some indeterminate amount of time later, "Help! Help!" It's just a little bit further away, but it's like, "Help!" Like, oh Christ! So I got my sleep completely fucked. I didn't get to sleep again until maybe around 4, and then I woke up at like 6, and I'm still half conked out. So that's been my day so far.
Piccolo, thank you so much for the donation with the hamburger. It better not be vegan. Satsu, hi. How are you today?
Wonder great. I'm doing good. Nothing like that happened, thankfully. The most exciting news I have today is Squishy went to the grocery store. That's about it.
I had a pretty decent day. I actually slept much longer than I thought I would. I woke up and it was like almost 2:30. I'm like, why the hell am I still asleep? Little Butt should have woke me up, but they had gone to her other grandma's house today, so I got to sleep in. And then all of them came back together. My son and his daughter and my daughter and her kids. And so everybody was here and it was great and had a good time. A little sore now, a little bit sore, but happy.
We had a birthday from yesterday. We got to remember. Alyssa Doesn't Lie told us yesterday it was going to be her birthday today.
It's also apparently American Celt's birthday.
Oh.
So, his birthday is tomorrow. So let's get Alyssa, since it's her birthday now.
Yeah.
Alyssa, if you're out there, or even if you're not, listen to it later, damn it. Happy birthday. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday
to you.
Starting off the night wrong.
Happy birthday to
you.
Love birthday songs.
Happy birthday,
Lisa.
Hope you had a good one.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday. I hope you had a good one. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button and share our stuff. And don't forget, we're brought to you by you. Just throwing that out there. Wink, wink. Hint, hint.
Nudge, nudge.
Nudge, nudge. That's not me in your pocket. You're just happy to see me. Wow.
That was strange.
And it's also Sarah Plyer's grandmother's birthday, Elaine.
Gosh. We'll get that one in a little bit. American Celt, tomorrow's your birthday. This one is for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Hidey, 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 hi.
Happy birthday to you.
you.
Lordy, 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 lordy.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
the American Celt.
dear American Celt.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
To
to you.
Nobody left.
Terry Diamandis, thank you so much. I think the homeless person was just getting revenge on Scribe for singing like that. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. And Cryptic, thank you so much. Too many September sex.
And Satsu doing his best Cab Calloway there for a second. But whatever works for you.
Does we have newses today?
We do has newses today.
What kind of newses we got?
Oh, well, per the title of the stream, apparently the Biden campaign is secretly building a Republican group.
No.
I mean, a focus group to try to get Republican votes. You don't say. Appearing in an Instagram live chat with soccer star Megan Rapinoe on April 30th, presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden made a spontaneous, vague statement about how he's been, quote, speaking to a lot of Republicans, unquote, including, quote, former colleagues who are calling and saying, Joe, if you win, we're going to help, unquote. Then he showed his hand, quote, matter of fact, there's some major Republicans who are already forming Republicans for Biden, unquote, the former vice president said, quote, major office holders, unquote. The comment hardly received any attention at the time, like most of Biden's words, but in declaring it, Biden ended up tipping off the earliest stages of a brewing effort that's starting to get underway in certain Republican circles behind the scenes. Interviews with several of the most prominent Never Trump Republicans reveal that, for now, the nascent effort is loosely defined and could ultimately take a variety of forms. You haven't seen my final form. But preliminary talks about messaging, engagement, leadership, and rollout are starting to be broadly sketched out, according to sources directly familiar with the matter.
Mm-hmm.
And the talks have happened more frequently as Biden moves solidly into general election mode.
All right.
Super chat monkey.
Oh, thank you, Cryptic. So Mighty Romney, the rhinos of all rhinos. No, what I was doing, I was going because I couldn't remember. There was a tweet thread that I saw this in, and the woman who wrote that article, she named who Biden most likely wants to be the head of this thing. And I couldn't remember who it was. It wasn't Romney. It was Kasich.
Oh, God. I haven't heard that name in a while. Like, Jesus, John Kasich. Yeah. Meanwhile, one name in particular has been floated as a choice to help give legs to such an effort from the inside. Former Republican Ohio Governor John Kasich. The source who has spoken to top Biden allies about a number of topics said there has been discussion in Biden world about Kasich, a leading Never Trump voice who joined as a CNN analyst after leaving office in January of 2019. A senior Kasich strategist denied any discussions.
Uh-huh. Well, was that person anonymous for a reason?
Well, I'll tell you after a super chat.
Thank you, Ace Phoenix. How does Scribe listen to music at his moon base? He uses Neptunes.
Womp, womp,
Thank you so much.
Quote, it's done, but the reason it's not common is there are few people willing to do that, unquote. Longtime Democratic campaign strategist Joe Trippi said about the possibility of a Republican joining a Democrat's campaign in this capacity, or vice versa. Quote, it's not rare on the Biden campaign's part. You just usually don't have that many prominent people usually willing to cross lines in the middle of a presidential campaign. Yeah, and getting a retired Republican governor, if that is the case, to try to do it. I mean, how much pull does John Kasich have anymore?
Probably not much, except for with Never Trumpers.
I suppose.
And especially if you're going to be going against the party for the presidency.
And that's the thing that just doesn't quite ring. I mean, maybe you'll get some already self-declared neutral or independent Republicans or something that they've already written off. And maybe you'll get some state-level Republicans, et cetera, to do the same. But any like primary party congressional Republicans, if they want to have a career, should Trump win, they better not.
Yeah.
And if they do the whole what's his name, the guy who flipped from Republican to Democrat or Independent or something, and
The guy from Michigan here.
I forget his name, but the thing that has more truck in political circles than anything else is loyalty. So if you go against your own party and you lose, you're not going to have friends on the other side of the aisle. So anyway.
And this isn't unusual. I mean, there's always a group, Democrats against Clinton, against Obama, same with Republicans against Bush. These things always happen. It's just you don't usually hear about the forming of the group.
Right.
It tells you how bored they are writing news stories these days.
Or we're just in the age of people familiar with the matter, so no matter who says it, they'll never be revealed nowadays. So,
I got something about that later on, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, let's sing to Elaine real fast, and then we'll do another story, and then we'll get our last birthday that I see here. Elaine, it's your birthday, and this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, you get a good Scribe song.
Happy birthday to you.
Is you already ahead?
Happy birthday,
dear
Elaine.
You must be already ahead.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday, Elaine. I hope you had a great one. And
that's because it's somebody's grandmother, Satsu.
Is she be a redhead grandmother?
I don't.
Be hot.
I don't. No.
Go ahead. Finish that sentence. I'll go tell Lady Monkey.
I'm not shovel tonguing myself. Nope.
Not gonna
do it. Go ahead and tell Elaine's grandma she's up. Please.
No. Shut up. I regret everything I said.
Yeah. What else we got tonight?
You want news?
Yes.
Please.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to help you out. We could stay on you insulting my wife. That'd be fine.
That's fine. So another passing. Yesterday it was Roy of Siegfried and Roy. Today it's Little Richard.
Yeah, I saw that. That sucks.
Yeah, and that guy was, all over the place when I was growing up. Little Richard, the screaming, preening, scene-stealing wild man of early rock and roll with hits like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally, died Saturday at 87. Dick Allen, his former agent, confirmed to CNN. Allen said Little Richard died in Nashville with his brother and son by his side, and the cause of death is related to bone cancer. He called the star, quote, one of the legends, one of the originators, and said Little Richard had been ill for a good while. The pioneer would have stood out in any era, but in the 1950s, when Little Richard came into prominence, he was like no other, a flamboyant, makeup-wearing, piano-playing black man who personified the devil's music to establishment guardians. Elvis Presley was one thing, but for all of his pelvic thrusts and slick-back juvenile delinquent hair, he was at heart a polite Southern boy who loved his daddy. Little Richard, though, well, he may have come from a big Southern family himself, but he represented something else. Quote, Richard opened the door, he brought the races together, said arranger H.B. Barnum in Charles White's 1984 biography, The Life and Times of Little Richard. A little premature, given the guy's age and when he finally passed. Quote, when I first went on the road, there were many segregated audiences. With Richard, although they still had the audiences segregated in the building, they were together. And most times before the end of the night, they would all be mixed together.
Thank you, Terry Diamandis. I bet Little Richard was a bit of a dick. Wow.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that joke's never been made before.
No, I like Little Richard. He's one of those people, though, that makes me feel lazy.
Yeah, like never stop being on the job.
No, never stop moving, and his exuberance and dear Lord, it was like the man. It was like 3 meth addicts put into one.
Yeah, he was something else.
Just the amount of absolute energy that man had was insane.
The only thing I always wonder when I was growing up, I thought, he can't be like that every minute of the day. I wonder what he's like when he's not on, because it just seemed to me that Maybe he was like that in private. I don't know, but I just had a feeling that maybe that was, at least in great part, his showmanship. But in private life, he probably was, I don't know, maybe not nearly as bombastic.
Professor Knapp says cocaine helps. Maybe, but there's a lot of people who do coke who aren't like that.
Cocaine.
That dude is damn.
Let's see. Well, going from someone who okay.
Before we get to our next story, Enziker has a birthday today. I believe this is the final of our birthday songs.
Well,
Enziker, this one's for you. What?
Is this for the daughter? Oh, because somebody just said their daughter's birthday is tomorrow in the chat. So.
Oh, I did not see that one.
The Reaper said, "Hey, it's my daughter's birthday tomorrow." So just a heads up.
Okay, so we'll need a name for that. Enziker, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Too many birthdays.
Wow. Happy birthday to you.
Step off my territory, monk.
Happy birthday, dear Enziker.
Jesus Christ, Scribe.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, and I hope you had a good one. Thank you, Cryptic. R.I.P. He tootie all of our fruities.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good on that one.
Yeah, he never tootied my fruity.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Well, as I was about to say before I was so predictably interrupted, from one end of the spectrum of being a good person, presumably, to being a horrible person, Staten Island hospital nurse accused of stealing and using credit card from her dying COVID-19 patient.
Wow, what a bitch.
Well, I mean, it could be a man. Nurses aren't necessarily women, monkey, you sexist bastard.
And can also be bitches.
I don't call the nurse say bitch just to women.
All right. Well, you weren't wrong. Police say a nurse at a New York City hospital faces charges for stealing a credit card of a former COVID-19 patient while hospitalized, which the patient's daughter says was used for gasoline and groceries. Danielle Conti, 43, has been charged with grand larceny, petty larceny, and criminal possession of stolen property after ringing up charges on 2 of Anthony Catapano's credit cards while hospitalized at Staten Island University Hospital with coronavirus, according to the New York Police Department. Catapano, 70, was hospitalized on April 4th after getting sick from coronavirus. But you don't get sick from coronavirus. His daughter, Tara Catapano, told CNN he was lucid when the alleged theft occurred and later died on April 12th from complications of the virus. You don't die from the virus. I know I'm harping on this, but it just... Anyway. Quote, I was in shock and disbelief, his daughter said. Obviously, I knew it had to be a hospital employee because visitors weren't really allowed. Tara Catapano, who had been paying her father's bills since her mother passed away in 2014, said she normally doesn't track her father's spending closely. However, after he died and she received a credit card statement for gasoline, which she said her father always paid for in cash, she then saw the charge date occurred on April 9th when her father was in the hospital literally fighting for his life. She said the police showed her surveillance footage from a ShopRite of what appeared to be Conti paying for groceries using her father's card. Quote, they take an oath to protect, not to harm, she said. Other belongings unaccounted for include her father's eyeglasses, cell phone, cash in the wallet, phone chargers, and pictures. It's not clear what happened to those belongings, and it isn't certain they were intentionally stolen. Okay.
Took his eyeglasses?
Well, they say these things are missing, but they don't know if those are stolen or misplaced or somehow cleaned up or something. So are they going to say what she's facing? Let's see. Well, she's set to appear in court sometime in September. Okay. Let's see. The daughter told CNN she just wants to know why Conti did what she allegedly did, because she's a greedy, thieving bitch.
No, it's because of the effects of COVID, man. It was taking on her, and she got confused. You know, it's
yeah.
I get that. I hear that a lot with. I just want to know why.
They're greedy.
They're bad people.
Yeah, just assholes. That's it. It's not very complicated. I mean, it's not going to make it any better to have that kind of simple answer, but we're not talking about like an Agatha Christie mystery here.
Well, I feel like they're hoping that the answer is something like, I just needed food, you know? Because, I mean, that can make it a little bit better, but it's still, they stole from your
Dying father. Like, he's sick in bed, you take advantage of somebody or whatever. Like,
I don't know if that makes it much better, to be honest.
no, not really.
You're a fucking nerd.
Yeah, she had a job. She's got a job.
Come on,
Like,
dude.
What the hell?
Stop it.
You know?
I was hungry. Bitch, vending machine right down the hall.
Yeah, the hospital's got tapioca.
You good?
I'm sorry, I was saying bye to Pumpkin.
Oh.
Did they say what the money was used for?
Gasoline and groceries.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be what it is. I just I didn't get my Trump bucks yet.
Yeah. I was going to pay it back, but he died before I could. Sorry.
Trump didn't stimulate me yet, so I
He said I could do it.
Let's see. All right. So this is kind of fucketry, but not really fucketry, I guess, because it is a news story. But I'm not picking it out necessarily because of the subject matter, as I am something that I noticed as I read it this morning. Because as I usually do, I wake up and I got my tablet thing, and I'll check the CNN to see if anything crazy happened in the world beyond the normal. And for whatever reason, I clicked on this headline, and then I started reading the article, and I noticed a pattern. You tell me if you see the pattern as well. By the way, this article required 4 authors.
Wow.
Just so you know, this article required 4 authors. Allies despair as Trump abandons America's leadership role at a time of global crisis. The United States has scaled back its role on the world stage, taken actions that are undermining efforts to battle the coronavirus epidemic, and left the international community without a traditional global leader, according to experts, diplomats, and analysts. The U.S., usually at the head of the table, helping to coordinate in global crises, has declined to take a seat at the virtual international meetings convened by the World Health Organization and the European Union to coordinate work on potentially life-saving vaccines. Former world leaders warn that the Trump administration risks alienating allies by politicizing the deadly pandemic with its push to punish China and have other nations choose sides. The administration's decision to halt funding for the WHO, the world body best positioned to coordinate the global response to the raging pandemic, has appalled global health officials. On Friday, the U.S. blocked a vote on the UN Security Council resolution that called for a global ceasefire aimed at collectively assisting a planet devastated by the outbreak. The U.S. did not want any reference to the WHO in the text and rejected a compromised version that didn't directly mention the organization, and instead cited the UN's special health agencies, according to 2 diplomats familiar with the process.
Good night, baby. Come here.
Bye, baby.
Can you say thank you, Cryptic?
Thank you, Cryptic.
Thank you for the donation, Cryptic. Said they're trying to make us pay for all this crap. Yeah, you're not wrong. I love you. You going to bed? Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
Hi, Satsu.
Hi, Grandma.
Satsu.
Hi.
Can we kiss him and cheek?
Hold on. Chat? Are you going to say hi to chat?
Say hi, chat.
Hi, chat.
Say hi,
Aw.
Stargazer.
Hi, Stargazer Nuts.
Isn't that a weird? Yeah, that's her name. I love you. You be a good girl. Go sleep, okay? Leave me space in my bed.
She's sleeping with Mama and Dad.
Oh, you sleeping upstairs? Okay.
Night, baby girl. Love you. Night, Grandma.
Night. And Shrouded Angel, thank you so much for the lemon there.
Let's see. And where U.S. presidents have in the past offered a steadying voice, observers from the Asia Pacific to Europe, from the Asia Pacific to Europe, expressed incredulity, amusement, and sadness at President Donald Trump's briefing on the virus, saying they are deeply damaging to the U.S. image abroad. U.S. officials pushed back, touting both funding to fight COVID-19 as well as work Trump is doing through the Group of Seven and bilaterally, leading more than 50 calls with world leaders. But experts say funding without full global coordination can slow the overall process. All right, get their super chat real quick.
Cryptic, thank you so much. Damn it, she made me up the amount. Thank you so much.
Okay, the thing I want to point out is that I'm about a page and a half through this already.
Mhm.
And no one has been quoted
Yeah.
No one has been attributed. No one has been named. We've had experts, analysts, officials, da. All of these opinions, all of these conclusions are coming from nebulous sources. At no point is anyone attributed. Now, and I had the argument made to me on Twitter, it's like, well, they have to protect their sources. And like, yeah, but this isn't private information. This is experts. If I'm going to be assessing the value of an expert's thoughts on something, you need to tell me who it is.
Exactly. Like, you just can't say experts was, oh, okay, well.
Yeah. And talking about like the text of a UN Security Council resolution, well, that's public information. This is on the public record. This isn't some private information.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. And I mean, I haven't read the entire article, but if in the first page and a half of delivering us the news that allies despair, but you're not telling us who is or who's giving you that information or that perspective in some fashion. Yeah. And so as far as I can tell, for like the first half of this article, they never say like, where is this coming from? It's either for people familiar with the matter or officials or whatever else. And it's just, it really, I know it's nothing new. I know it's not some big, flashy headline on it or anything else that this keeps happening. We talk about all the time, people familiar with the matter, But I just thought, if I only read the first page of this, where most, the meat and summary of an article usually is in that first page or so, it just reads like anti-Trump propaganda and nothing else. Without any attribution, without any sources cited, without any names given, just the world hates Trump because trust us.
You know what was weird to me? The weird part to me is that Trump won't take his seat at the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you hear that America's too pushy and we need to be, this is your chance, world, stand up, do your thing. Why are you bitching that our president isn't doing things for you, isn't telling you what to do, isn't coordinating it?
And is it really that difficult to find people who are willing to be public in being outspoken against Trump, that you can't name somebody? I mean, really, it shouldn't be that tough. You throw a rock in a fucking swimming pool and probably hit somebody who doesn't like Trump and they're an expert in something.
I feel like if he would have showed up, they would have said, in a power play traditional to Trump's behavior, he shows up at the head of the table and tries to run the show with blah. It's just like, trust me, it doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Yeah. Okay. Just as a couple more examples. So critics say the Trump administration's approach to the coronavirus hasn't just hampered the fight against the pandemic, it has increased uncertainty, eroded respect for the U.S., and deepened concern that the international system no longer functions effectively. Critics say, really? Why wouldn't they say that? And who are the critics? Now, the first person that they cite, the first person that they quote is halfway through the article. It says, quote, "The world is looking for global leadership. It's a global problem. It affects literally everyone on the planet. This is a time when you expect the leaders of superpowers in a very constructive way to help coordinate and structure the response," unquote, said Robert Yates, director of the Global Health Program at Chatham House, a British think tank. Quote, "One would expect the U.S. to have a leading role in trying to coordinate global efforts. That's been completely lacking," unquote. And there you go. That wasn't that tough, was it? But if you didn't read all the way through to get to that, and you just read like the meat of it, the summary of the article where everything should be at your fingertips, nothing. Just experts, at people, things that we've heard places and stuff.
So the people who think Trump is doing a horrible job wish he was doing it on a national stage.
Yeah.
Sorry, on a global stage.
A global stage. Yeah, boy, we wish Trump was taking the lead on the global stage because he's not, and that's really disappointing. Like, what do you want? What are you looking for?
They want Trump out of office, period. And they don't care which narrative they have to spin, which direction they have to turn in, how much they have to contradict themselves. As long as it results in Trump getting out of the office, they don't give a fuck. Like, not a single fuck. They will lie, cheat, do whatever they need to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In this case in particular, they also desperately want our money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really bad.
If they had done an article that said, this British expert says that Trump isn't leading like he thinks he should. If the article was based around that guy saying that, well, that's called reporting.
Right.
That's called saying this guy who's in this position came out and said these things, beginning and end. There you go. But instead, we precede that with all this weightless nothing of just people say Trump sucks. Like, I've been hearing that for 4 years, and it takes 4 CNN reporters to throw this together. Like, were they having conversations with each other? Say, hey, you're an expert on not liking Trump, aren't you? Yeah. Will you be my secret source on this? Sure. I say this. Oh well, experts say. What?
Anyway. Tell us what your cousin thinks about Trump, and we'll.
Yeah. My cousin took 3 classes in economics. He knows what's going on. All right, he's an expert. He's got a BS. Yeah, all right. Anyway, sorry. It's not really a story. It's just sort of like one of those things. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, stupid shit.
The Reaper's daughter is tuning into us right now to hear us sing this. Her name is Autumn. Autumn, happy birthday.
The Reaper's daughter is Autumn.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's because you think of the Reaper, think of like winter. The Reaper's daughter. I thought the Reaper's daughter might be spring, but oh well. Reaper's daughter's not. That's fine.
Are you done now?
I guess so. I was just trying. I just thought it was kind of poetic in a way. I was trying to figure out how poetic it could be, but I fucked it up. So never mind. Sorry. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry, Autumn. I didn't mean to say the bad word. Oh god.
She's 23. You're okay.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, never mind what I said.
You're doing great, Scribe.
I know.
But your name is beautiful, and it's okay that it's not spring. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Sorry about my friend here.
Happy birthday to you.
It can be a little awkward,
Happy birthday, dear Autumn.
Your name is awesome, though. I like it.
Happy birthday
to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, Autumn. I hope you have a great one. Scribbles, besides our audience and my wife, is there anybody else you'd like to insult tonight?
Holy fuck. Oh, shit.
Is that a no? Okay.
I am shamed. I got 4 hours of sleep. I'm operating on 4 hours of sleep. I'm sorry. My brain's all over the place. I'm punchy. I'm scattered. When did I talk about your wife?
I
said
ready.
Grandmothers could be hot, and you're like, no.
Well, my God.
Yeah.
I get it. You don't want me around. You want to go away.
Just throwing that out there.
You're throwing me out.
Did you have any more stories?
I got nothing.
Damn right.
Guys, now it's time for MSS News. If there's anything you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. Can't get to them all. That's just because Scribe needs time to insult people.
I suck.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Monkey, I was not ready.
Speaking of not ready, guess who's up first?
Monk.
Senior corner correspondent Frosted Glass sends in this one.
God. No.
Stop allowing white people to dictate what is racist.
Okay.
I know, right?
Versions of this article as we read.
Yeah, over the years.
Jesus Christ.
I recently read an article about an African-American postal worker in Colorado who was subject to a racist coworker repeated displays of racial animosity by adorning a racist Gadsden flag hat back in 2014, a symbol adopted by the Tea Party and aggrieved white people across America after the election of the first black president.
The Gadsden flag is way predates the Tea Party, but okay.
We all know the federal government is the premier proponent of white free speech, so Buddy Rowe got to wear his racist frocks to work as he pleased. Isn't the Gadsden flag the snake?
Yeah, it's this "Don't tread on me."
Don't tread on me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a history major. I don't know the actual history of the flag. Is it older than 100 years? Then it's probably related in some way to racist something. Just like anything else you could cite about American history at this point and be kind of correct.
Just pick your time frame. It doesn't matter.
If it was the Confederate flag, it'd be a clearer line to draw. But the Gadsden flag, I don't know.
Well, I've seen this one occasionally accused of being racist, but it's always been because of the Tea Party. That's where I've seen it the most. Don't forget, the Tea Party got accused of being racist because supposedly they yelled the N-word at some people who were walking with Nancy Pelosi. I forget the representatives, the black representatives who were with her. And even though there is tons of video from there and nobody can be heard saying the word, that became the press thing. This was the one that the guy Andrew Breitbart, offered like $500,000 if somebody could come out with any evidence that it was actually said. That money is still on the table. Maybe it was only 100,000. I forget.
You know what we do have evidence though of? We do have video evidence and literal recordings of Antifa calling police officers and other black people the N-word.
That's true.
They aren't considered racist though.
Let's see. The African-American postal worker filed a complaint charging that he had been subject to racial discrimination and harassment. The complaint was initially dismissed because the decision makers determined at the time the symbol was ambiguous. The ruling implied it was difficult for white folk to decipher whether the hat was in protest of the government or a symbol of hatred towards a black man working for the first black president of America.
Yeah, because unless you're a mind reader or the guy tells you outright, it's kind of hard to decipher what that is there for, other than it's just a thing. If it's a Confederate flag, it's a little less ambiguous, but anyway.
Well, here's the thing. This is why we need to stop letting white people decide. You need black people to tell you that everything is.
You're right.
If you don't have us to tell you and confirm for you, like, it doesn't matter what their intentions were. We'll let you know ahead of time, straight up, that it's absolutely racism. Did he sneeze? Racism. Did he fart? Racism. Did he cough? Racism.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
That's right.
Thank you, the Reaper, who says, thanks for the birthday song from my daughter. Everyone stay safe. You too, and happy to do it. Happy to do it. Let's see. In 2016, 2 years after the initial complaint was filed, the EEOC reversed their ruling in favor of the African-American postal worker after a professor challenged the federal government's interpretation of the meaning and usage of the flag. In 2016, as the Obama administration was coming to a close, white federal employees were finally convinced by a white professor that the flag was indeed being used as a form of racial harassment. In 2016, that yellow "Don't Tread on Me" rag had been used by white supremacists for nearly 7 years prior.
Jeez.
7 years?
Wow.
I didn't realize that flag was only 7 years old. Well, I guess at this time that would make it, 10 years old. It's about time to have a birthday celebration. Howard, thank you so much. The garden flag was made by a Rhode Islander. Oh, the Gadsden flag, I'm guessing. Was made by a Rhode Islander during the Revolutionary War as a naval battle flag fighting British ships. It was made before the original Stars and Stripes. No. 7 years prior to 2016, racial groups started using it. No, thank you for the donation. Frosted, this is stupid. Go sit in the corner. Oh, God. Oh. This one comes from Sean, who's trying to get his ass thrown in the corner. Is Donald Trump's response to coronavirus a crime against humanity?
I don't know.
America's
Was Obama's response to H1N1 a crime against humanity?
As long as China's is.
Yeah.
America's going to hit 200,000 plus deaths, of which 90% are needless, according to Umair Haque. Haku. I don't know how to say his last name. Take a deep breath. Go to your happy place. You're going to need it. Oh, I have no fucking doubt. Consider for a moment the following two sentences. 1, approximately 90% of America's COVID deaths can now be attributed to the administration's delay between March 2nd and March 16th. That's from the nation's top epidemiologist. Read that again. 90% of the coronavirus deaths are needless. 2, the people of our country are warriors. Will some people be affected? Yes. Will some people be affected badly? Yes, but we have to get our country opened. That's Donald Trump, known to some people as the president. Translation, America, you're expendable. Wow. I told you need to take a deep breath. How does this make you feel? It makes me feel like you're a fucking asshole who's trying to draw conclusions that you can't really draw. North of 1,500 people are dying per day. By June 1st, America is predicted, this is by the White House own predictions, to have 3,000 deaths per day, the equivalent of a 9/11 every day. That is not true.
Wow.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not true. Thank you, Pincalo. Hakuna Matata? No. It's H-A-Q-U-E. Okay? I don't know how you say it. This is some guy. It's Donald Trump is killing all of you because he doesn't want you to starve to death. Oh, for fuck's sake. These people. All right. This next one comes to us from Becca, the lovely Becca, who often steps in when Nuts can't drop Streamlabs links and does them for us. You ladies are so sweet to us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make a deal with our robot overlords.
All right.
Okay. What's behind door number 3?
The pandemic will accelerate automation. This might be an opportunity for workers. If you worry that robots will render human workers obsolete, the coronavirus pandemic offers ample reason to worry more. Surely companies will take the opportunity to replace demanding, imperfect people with machines or artificial intelligence wherever possible.
Probably.
Yeah.
They're not, and they haven't been doing that the last 30 years anyway.
That said, I'm hoping the crisis will also create an opportunity to negotiate better terms with our algorithmic overlords. The pandemic has made me reconsider the sanctity of work. Just look at the situation at America's meat processing plants, where hundreds of mostly immigrant workers are getting sick. Workers have been brutally divided into 2 classes: those who employers protect them from the virus, and those who lose their job or their unemployment insurance if they refuse to labor under dangerous conditions. If certain businesses, say the next generation of meat plants, can't reopen safely and profitably with humans, they can and should do so with robots. Some jobs just aren't good enough to protect. Until now, among the biggest obstacles was the transition cost of going from badly paid humans to machines. But if companies disrupt their workflow by actually shutting down production to save lives, as they should, then they will have paid much of the cost. They can train the robot using data gleaned by okay, but all right. So this person wants us to use, okay. The question then is, what will happen to the enormous jobless underclass that such an accelerated shift to automation will create? This is where I think the sheer magnitude of the coronavirus crisis might actually help, for 3 reasons. First, when so many people are suddenly and violently thrown out of work at the same time, it creates a sense of solidarity that a slow, insidious process such as offshoring does not. That was not as slow as you might think. Second, the jobless are not perceived and do not perceive themselves as at fault for their predicament. Well, yeah, because they're not. Third, and perhaps most important, real change will look newly possible in light of the unprecedented measures. Okay.
That said nothing about what to do about these people who lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Like literally nothing. All 3 had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. People may lose their jobs. What are we going to do with these people?
And they answer with nothing.
Yeah. The end.
Literally nothing. Oh my God.
So this crisis brings with it opening for collective action. How it will work remains to be seen. Pitchforks aren't effective against social media algorithms, and Amazon might not care if a large faction of the population can't buy its stuff as long as the rest keep buying more. But the winners of the AI revolution want to avoid business disruption of any actual revolution. They should be prepared to negotiate a new and very different deal. That's literally meaningless.
Yeah.
Okay. maybe they're saying this. This is what I'm getting from this. They're saying that unemploying that many people at one time will start a massive revolution, and then they will have to do something about it. That's what it sounds like they're getting.
Yeah, but what?
I don't know.
We need to make deals with our new AI overlords. What deal? What do you?
Yeah, and then who builds these AIs? Who manages these AIs? Who? I mean, yeah, people are still going to be needed to do stuff. There's some things you cannot automate, no matter how hard you try. But automation isn't anything new. It's not like, ooh, the pandemic's brought on a new inspiration for automation. No, it just means that automation will continue because the pandemic doesn't change the current need for people to do jobs that can't be automated.
That came off as a very vague socialistic cry.
Yeah, it's like workers of the world, rise up against our oncoming algorithmic overlords imposed by the state and the man.
Except it wasn't even that. It was sit down like you're doing during Corona.
Yeah, and it sounded, once again, true to form, like most of the stuff we read from these people, wishful thinking. Like we need it all to burn down before we can do anything to fix it back up.
Well, I mean, how many times now? What was it? Was it Clyburn or whoever else that was like, "Oh, now that we have this power, we can move through all of our agendas in order by tacking on all this stuff to this legislation trying to help with the pandemic or the economy or something else. We can take advantage of this." I mean, and it's not just the left. So many sides are seeing this as their opportunity to push their grand agenda or their grand social change because nothing's going to be the same after this lifts. And I'm like, why? Why can't it be? Why can't we go back to normal after this?
Because the plan is, like I said, to make sure that they disrupt any chances of the economy recovering or coming back or anything opening back up where the damage is done to that point. Like that's the goal they're trying to reach. Yeah.
And they're trying to leverage people's health and lives and stand on top of those for their own agenda. And I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be more respectful if we try to get everybody back something to where we were before this, rather than trying to, essentially trade people's lives and health for your personal whim?
I mean, I guess the question would be, would Trump possibly get elected if we do that?
Oh, don't be wrong. Trump's also taking advantage of this in some ways.
Of course.
I mean, this is everybody's trying to make hay out of this, whether Biden or Trump or everybody else. And I've used this phrase too many times. There are no harps or halos to be passed around here. But all the same, I'm just being idealistic, maybe.
It's just funny to watch. Well, funny and also kind of sad, but yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad because I was actually laughing today at people getting sick. I wasn't laughing at them getting sick. It just struck me funny because it was just yesterday. I was reading about how great the rest of the world has been doing and how they're able to open up everything again.
Yeah.
And then the stories came out today that people are in South Korea and Germany have shown up sick after they've started reopening things. I was like, so you mean it's not just Trump's a bastard? Huh. It's almost like locking down doesn't stop the fucking disease.
I literally just read an article earlier today, that specifically said, these other countries are doing so good and they're prepped to open back up and they're doing it the right way. Yep. And just today.
Yep.
All right. Well.
And they're showing up sick again. I feel like I said something about that a month and a half ago. Dragon Mage, thank you. But it's for the greater good. It's always for the greater good. Always for the greater good. Next up comes Peter Stewart sent this one in. A doctor's note to come back to work. Employment lawyers on COVID-19 complications. This comes to us from our little brother up north, Toronto. As some provinces start to show promising signs of having flattened the curve of the pandemic, talk is turning to how we handle a return to the workplace and what rights workers have in this tumultuous time.
Y'all want to talk about rights now? Huh? Okay.
Well, some provinces are already setting the wheels in motion for reopening non-essential businesses. For example, Manitoba has already reopened retail businesses, salons, museums, libraries, and playgrounds. Quebec has already allowed retail businesses outside of the Montreal area to open, and Ontario released a list on May 4th of businesses that could open, including golf courses and garden centers. Employers and employees across the country are looking ahead to plan what the new normal could look like in the workplace. CTV News spoke to employment lawyers, Moniza Schick and Stuart Kruger, in order to sift through some of the complicated questions about workers and employee rights. My workplace has reopened, but I don't think it's safe to return. Do I have to? Yes, they say. The law is on the employer's side here, even in a pandemic. If work is available, you are expected to be there, Rudner said, and failure to attend for your regularly scheduled work hours will be seen as basically abandoning your job. This has some question and answers that you guys in Canada will want to take a look at. I don't know how relevant they are to. This is Canada law, so when we start reopening here, you're going to want to make sure you check with your local ordinances. Pincalo, thank you. By garden centers, they mean garden nurseries. Well, yeah, I get that. But thank you for the clarification. Oh, no, it's another one of these. Thank you for this one, Froggy.
Ribbit.
My nurse friend, this is a Slate article thing. My nurse friend wants to break quarantine for a hookup.
Oh, yeah, let's play doctor.
She's irate about the lack of PPE, but doesn't think it's a problem to go to this guy's house.
Who cares about the PPE? She just wants some PP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well done. Dear Lords of the Night, a really good friend of mine is a nurse who treats patients with COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
She was irate about the lack of PPE until a guy she was interested in dating invited her over to his house. He has shared custody of young children with an ex-wife, but apparently said nothing to her about his ex-wife's approval of such an encounter. Obviously, because who would want to consent to such a thing? I know she's lonely. I know she wants to have sex. But I was appalled that she'd even consider this invite, defying the rules of lockdown we're all following in no small part to make healthcare workers like her safer. I've lost respect for her. I'm angry with her. She thinks I'm overreacting. Who's right? Satsu, who's right here?
Who's the darkest?
Oh, they didn't tell me.
Okay. Then I can't help you there.
Scribbles?
I think if anybody is going to be reckless with their health, they're willing to be reckless with yours. And who knows what else she's not telling you. That's just my thing. It's just like, no.
Your friend's a hypocrite for cock.
She can wait to get the D, man. It's fine.
Yeah. This is what they say. I'd like to start by acknowledging everything in this situation that is true, understandable, and human. Your friend is working under dangerous and stressful situations and is not receiving sufficient protection and support from her employer. She is lonely and overworked and hungry for human touch that is not meditated by fear and avoidance. Mediated. You are concerned and angry about the possibility that she's running a real risk that could potentially harm a number of vulnerable people. Stop. No. She's specifically talking about what a hypocrite she's being while wanting to run that risk. It's okay to run to a strange dude's house and get some dick without PPE, but she's really worried about the PPE stuff. It's the hypocrisy of her friend.
Yeah.
I think the best course of action you can pursue is to speak to her once again, neither in anger nor in thoughtless cheerleading. Quote, I love you so much. I know you're being put in an impossible situation at work every day, and I know how lonely and frustrating isolation can be. I don't blame you. She's not isolated. She sees people every day.
Yeah.
And not just sick people. So stop it. I don't blame you for wanting to have sex with someone you like or for wanting to relax for a few hours. Shut up. No, look at her. You're being dumb. That's what you need to tell her. You're being dumb. The lady was right. Your friend is being an idiot. Go ahead.
I was about to say, was there a butt in there somewhere? After all that, because it seems like they were trying to really soften up the blow with all that buildup.
But you need to be safe. You need to just that. I'm tired that they're so lonely. No, they're not. They go out and they hang out with their coworkers every day. Now, do they get to go partying with them? No, but they see them. Unlike the people who actually are at home.
Yeah, they get to make TikTok and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, they do TikTok videos all the time, man. It's like one of the number one things on TikTok right now. Ace, thank you so much. What did Cinderella, I'm guessing, do? What did Cinderella do when she got to the ball? She gagged.
Whoa.
Well, she needs more practice.
There's only one? That sucks for the guy.
Just need to relax that throat. Well, one is usually higher than the other.
I suppose.
Oh. This one comes to us from Jack, the motherfucking cock ring.
Uh-oh.
His comment on this: students rape female teachers most affected.
Oh boy.
Texas teacher, 29, avoids prison despite pleading guilty to charges stemming from accusations she had sex with a student 10 times, then seduced and fondled a second teen in a public park.
Pardon?
A Texas teacher was sentenced to no time behind bars and kept off the sex offenders registry despite confessing to having inappropriate sexual relations with two of her students. Haley Way, a 29-year-old student from Austin, was given 10 years of probation and ordered to complete 200 hours of community service after one of her students said they had sex more than 10 times over the course of a 2-month period, and another detailed how she seduced him in a public park.
You know what?
Both of the... Go ahead.
I always find it hilarious when we find a case of these women serving the community. They always tend to get community service instead of actual jail time. Isn't that?
Oh, no, I just read down. Hold on to that thought for a second, Satsu.
Okay. All right.
Both of the students were 17 at the time and attended Westlake High School.
Westlake?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ohio?
No, this is Texas.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, oh, shit.
The two teenagers stated in a 2015 affidavit they first met Way through ministry events. Oh, here's the wait for it. Ready for this is the part I was telling you to hold on to that for, Satsu. Way will also get to have the case completely dismissed and expunged from her record in 10 years if she does not violate her probation.
Wow. How convenient. You think she can hold out for 10 years?
Well, it depends on what she does for that community service.
I mean,
She's going to volunteer.
She's very good at servicing the community. So, I mean,
she's going to volunteer at a teen center.
Oh,
Sir Wolfgang, thank you so much. Pussy Pass strikes again. No shit. Well, Westlake is where the rich people live in Austin. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you for the donation. Nut says 17 is an adult in Texas. Did it say what exactly she was charged with? Just inappropriate sex with two of her students. So this wasn't an actual rape. This was her being in a position of power over them.
Yeah, or something like that.
No jail, 10 years probation, and if she doesn't break her probation, it completely goes away, completely off her record. All right. Well, good to know that the little guy still has a chance. Oh, fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this, so we can move on to YouTube time. And Satsu, what you did today?
Just a little editing. Nothing special. I once again got very close, very, very close to streaming Streets of Rage today. It's going to happen at some point because that game is super fun, and I've been playing it a lot on my Switch, and I really want to stream it. God damn it! So one of these days, I'm just going to say fuck it, and regardless of whatever scenario I find myself in, I'm just going to stream it, and whatever happens, happens. So because I need to share this game with the world, it's so fun. But yeah, that's it. Just did some editing, and I wanted to stream, but couldn't.
Scribbles, what you been up to?
Well, I did a TED Excellence today, although it had some technical difficulties in that the chat froze at one point, like it wasn't proceeding at all, and I couldn't tell if anybody was actually listening or watching at that point. And so I just kind of, StreamYard told me I was still broadcasting, and a couple people have ended up tweeting me to tell me I was still broadcasting, but the chat itself was just stuck for quite a while. And so I was like, well, I'll just keep going. And it was interesting, even though it wasn't welcome. It was interesting because I hadn't realized till that moment just how important and integral a part of the chat is to doing one of those live streams, because the feedback and sort of, the communal experience of going through these things is part of the enjoyment for me. And when they were gone, I kind of felt really odd. Like am I talking to myself? I feel like I'm talking to myself, even though I technically would have been anyway. The absence of the interaction and the participation was just kind of weird. But it was one on. It was probably one of the most agreeable TEDx's I've ever watched, because what the lady was talking about wasn't anything I disagreed with. She was promoting the fact that in New Zealand, she heads up or helps to run an organization that helps find jobs for people with physical and learning disabilities. And I was like, well, great. But she kept couching it in these ideas that businesses aren't hiring anybody who's disabled or won't even give them an interview, that somehow this has to do with diversity and inclusion. And I'm like, well, you're not getting them jobs because they're disabled, right? Because that's diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion is just sort of padding out statistics and putting people in jobs because of what they are, not because of what they can do. Whereas you're supposedly putting people into jobs who may have a disability, but they have every ability to do the job that you're putting them into, that kind of thing. So some of her rationalizations for why or how she was doing what she was doing were kind of off, but overall, nothing that she was promoting was objectionable. So in that sense, it was a very sort of tame TEDx, save for the technical difficulty. So anyway, that's what I did today. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time, unless something changes, I should be on Tailed Features channel for my 7th round of learning Scottish Gaelic. So look out for that. And I may do a TED Excellence tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I might take the day off because I'm going to have to be working on Sunday night, and I might just want to take the day to relax before I have to spend some unknown number of hours before bedtime working. So that's what I got.
All right. I did a monkey in the morning, and tonight we will be playing some more Fallout 76. As soon as we're done here, guys, make sure you come hang out over on 2 Cents Plus. That's the number 2, CENTSPLUS.
Real quick, Pacala says, it does happen, though, Scribe. Like Blind Press has been told straight up, and so have I, we won't hire a blind person. Well, I mean, again, it depends on the job, I suppose, but there are laws, aren't there? I mean, in New Zealand, Renovasio let me know, because I didn't know, because she was talking about these statistics and how disabled people aren't being hired, and I was like, well, I don't know what the laws are in New Zealand. Maybe there isn't an anti-discriminatory law in New Zealand, but there is. And I don't know what the laws are in Canada, but if you've been told straight out, we won't hire a blind person, isn't that a violation of the law?
Here in the United States, if they can do the job, you cannot say that to them.
Right. That's the only thing is that, I mean, there are situations where the job requires you to, lift X number of pounds, and if you
work for Lyft.
Or yeah, exactly, or whatever. there are things that or work for Lyft. There are things you literally need to have certain, either abilities or appendages to do the job, and if you don't, well, it's not that you just can't do the job. But yeah, no, if they're not hiring you because you're blind, but you have every ability to do the job, I would hope that's illegal in Canada too.
From Microsoft to even law firms break the AODA.
Well, isn't that lawsuit territory then?
Should be.
I would hope so.
Yeah, here in the States, man, if there's any suggestion of that, you can sue the shit out of them. I mean, hell, in the States, you're not even allowed to ask somebody if they're pregnant before you hire them. That right there. If you ask that, you better hire them. You absolutely better give them that job, because if you don't, they can sue the shit out of you for it, and they will win. That brings us on to Humpetry and Satsu. What you got for the Humpetry today?
I don't have a lot, really. I mean, there were some interesting stories that I saw today. Yahoo put out one that said, can Trump win re-election despite the coronavirus outbreak? And they were fussing about the fact that his approval rating is mysteriously increasing.
Mysterious.
Yeah, they can't quite seem to figure out what's going on with that. But that was like a very short one. There wasn't a lot of real information in there. It was just another case of reporters being bored as fuck and just.
Well, I get what you're saying with them being bored as fuck, but I also think they are genuinely confused by this, because Chris Cillizza just wrote that one we read the other day.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's just an outlier. Like, maybe if you guys would stop lying. Seriously. I think if they just told the truth about Trump and there wasn't all of these times where they keep getting caught lying about him, Trump's numbers would actually probably be a lot lower.
Yeah. How many times have I said in the past, you don't need to make things up about what the guy says or does. He just does them. I mean, anyway.
But when you're sitting there trying to blame Corona on, he didn't do anything. Way back in January, he was talking about how it was okay. Like, well, so was the World Health Organization. But shit. Yeah, I mean, then the people at home are like, oh, yeah, they did say that, didn't they? Back on January 14th, they said it wasn't transmittable between people.
Huh?
Like, Trump should have known in mid-January. Like, why? Your God, the World Health Organization didn't know then. So help me out here.
Yeah.
And so
Trump
the people, go ahead.
Oh, they were saying Trump should have been listening to experts. I'm like,
Yeah.
but
He was.
But,
And so you're out there telling that lie, and people can go look it up. It's not like we don't have the internet, guys. You keep making him the underdog.
Yep. And there have been countless articles to come out back then talking about specifically how him becoming an kind of an underdog in the media, really making him essentially a victim when it comes to, the news cycle and stuff. People resonated with that because a lot of people were feeling that type of stuff because there was a lot of articles coming out around that time of CNN and other places just saying shit that wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And it was affecting major people and major things. So people had already, especially after the PewDiePie thing, when that whole thing went on, because that was like global. That was around the time for me that I really noticed that people were really like, the media ain't shit, dude. So it just, and I hate to like bring that up in response to this, like PewDiePie had a direct involvement with, like, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying like, that's when I noticed people started becoming conscious of how shitty the media can be, So it's not a shock to anybody who ain't got no goddamn sense, who has like common sense. So, but anyway, let's see here. There was another article that I had looked at. The one thing that's coming around now too is the footage of what's his name? The kid who just got shot or murdered, killed.
Avery.
Arbery.
Yeah,
Arbery, yeah. The footage of him entering the construction house or whatever, which was the claim that was made that he was on property that he should not have been on.
So shoot him.
Yeah. Apparently their response, like I said, it was to murder him. Now some people are claiming that there it is, that's proof they had a right to kill him, and I'm like, no, they didn't. And I know, like, for people who are saying that this kind of justifies their actions as far as a citizen's arrest, depending on the circumstance and more information we get out, you might be right. That might have enabled them to perform a citizen's arrest. Still doesn't make up for the murder, though. So, I mean, that fact still remains. And I don't know, like, what are the laws? Like, Monkey, I know you said you looked up
Yes.
the laws and how they work or whatever. Can you, is it normal for people, or is it okay for people to perform a citizen's arrest armed?
It doesn't say, actually.
Okay, because that was the one thing that I was confused about, because I will admittedly say I am ignorant on the topic. I don't know if that's a normal thing or if that's a thing that's supposed to be done or can be done, because I don't know a lot about citizen's arrest. And if that's the case, then things get a little more dicey. But like I said, until we find that out or get some more information on who had this tape and where it came from and all that good shit, I'm gonna back off a little bit until things start to pan out. So
I'm not. Sorry to jump on you here, because this is one of my fuckatries too. Because here's
go
the
ahead.
thing.
That was my last one. So
fair enough. I'm going to read to you the Criminal Code of Georgia that covers this. A private person may arrest an offender if the offense is committed in his presence or within his immediate knowledge. If the offense is a felony and the offender is escaping or attempting to escape, a private person may arrest him upon reasonable and probable grounds of suspicion. His immediate presence or within his immediate knowledge. This video does not provide that for these men.
especially
This video
not-
coming, they did not watch this video before they shot him. Now, you can say, well, this shows, by the way, that would be trespassing. And I don't know of anywhere that trespassing, because there's no indication he stole anything. Trespassing, to my knowledge, is not a felony in any state.
Yeah.
So no, I still, no, no. Professor Cass, thank you. They cannot use lethal force for a non-forceful property crime. They are only authorized to use minimal force to force a minimal amount of force to detain the guy.
Does minimal force fall in line with shooting him 3 times with the shotgun?
Yeah. Scribbles, what you got?
Let's see. What do I got? Not really a comment on this one, because it really doesn't need a comment. You got a super chat.
Thank you, Mashishu. Chaos Eve says hello to Lords of the Night in chat. Hello, Chaos Eve.
Hello, Chaos Eve. New York Times put this out today. Celebrities are inadvertently exposing their reading habits by appearing on TV in front of their bookshelves. So what exactly are they reading? Here's what we found. Yeah, it's just enthralling, huh?
I was actively waiting for a single fuck to appear.
Yeah.
Not one. Odd.
Let's see. And this one I forgot to do this one yesterday. From the New York Times. Over the last 3 years, a photojournalist captured the lives of 4 women as they struggled to get pregnant, navigated the adoption and foster care systems, and judged a new life with children as they chose to become mothers on their own. And I said, portraits of single moms by choice. So their struggles are self-chosen. Okay. I'm going to do this all by myself. I don't care. Have fun, I guess.
Well, that's heroic, yeah.
I know, I guess. We don't need no man. Okay, well, maybe you don't. I don't know.
3-sided coin, thank you so much. Because taking a look at a house under construction is the worst thing ever. Also, hi guys, haven't caught you live lately. It's good to see you, 3-sided. Hope you're well.
He's trying to catch us live. I see how it is. What else? Apparently they're trying to get Harrison Ford to come back and do something for Star Wars. And I just said, let Solo be dead with whatever dignity he has left. Because just stop.
Yeah, just let him go.
Let it go. Other than that, nothing that we haven't really talked about, I guess. I don't think I had anything. We talked about that yesterday. Yep. And yep, that's about it.
Oh, let's see. What do we have here? Okay, this one. The lady deleted it, and I'm glad she did because she was kind of a cunt about it. But there's this video of this. It's a TikTok video of a dad and daughter doing this really silly dance. And this bitch, she tweeted out, "Can we go back to fathers being distant and not really talking to their daughters?"
You know, the good old days.
Like, how miserable is your life that seeing a dad and daughter having fun together offends you? I mean, be you, but Jesus Christ, you miserable shit. Go out there and get laid or something. I realize you got daddy issues and stuff, but Jesus. Relax. It's okay. People are having fun. You know what fun is, right? It's the other F word. Got into an argument about this one, actually. CNN tweeted out, the U.S. economy lost 20.5 million jobs in April, the BLS says. By far the most sudden and largest decline since the government began the data or tracking the data in 1939.
Wow.
And my response was basic. Oh, you know, I'll read it specifically. I said, we shut down the economy. What the fuck did you think would happen? And somebody got very offended at me for this. Like, at least they're telling the whole story and stuff. I'm like, yeah, and the sky's blue. And they're like, you're just being mean because it's CNN. It's not like they were being propagandisted or all. And all like, really? Where in that tweet for this story did they mention this is the first time since 1939 or even before then that we've shut down the entire fucking economy?
Yeah, or that it was due to COVID.
It's just the worst economy. You know what? It is. It's horrible, but it's predictable.
It's also self-inflicted.
It's not like this is because of some horrible thing. Like, oh no, this isn't propaganda. Yes, it is. This all started 3 days ago when everybody started tweeting out about how horrible the economy was, because that had become the new Democratic talking point. We can hit them with the economy now.
Yeah, as though this situation was some kind of policy decision on the economy that somehow went awry. I mean, no. You guys have been complaining for so long. Trump's not doing enough to protect the people. Oh my God, the economy's crashing. It's all his fault. Yeah.
Miss or Mr. I don't know. Somebody's name's Parker. Is that a man or a woman?
As a first name?
Yeah.
Parker Posey, Parker Lewis can't lose. It could be either one.
All right. Parker Molly tweeted out, brace yourselves. We're just 1 day away from this intellectual giant dusting off the same joke he tweets every single year. Ben Shapiro tweeting out, happy second legal guardian of unspecified gender day. And he's tweeted it out every year because it's still funny. Whiskey Theorizes, thank you so much. In my state, you can shoot an intruder in your house. Yeah, this wasn't even their house. Not even their house. But Molly Parker from Parker Malloy. Sorry, this actually got an other O in it. Malloy. I don't know who the fucker is. They're just they didn't even have the balls to tag Ben in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
They don't say why it's not relevant anymore. Still relevant. It's the same shit we've been talking about year after year after year after year. I did love this. This is a Babylon Bee headline. Believe women slogan updated to believe creepy old men with dementia. Way back during the Kavanaugh hearings, AOC tweeted this out. We're saying it loud and clear on November 6th. If you're an elected official that minimizes, covers for, or ignores sexual assault, then we will replace you by electing survivors to office.
Oh, my God.
Let's go. She had an NPR interview the other day where she said this. Frankly, this is a messy moment, and I think we need to acknowledge that it is not clear cut. Tara Reid has never explicitly said, "Don't vote for Joe Biden."
Wait a second. Real? That's the standard? Well, she just said Joe Biden should drop out of the race. Does that count? Wow.
What?
Wow. That's who said that?
AOC.
Hold on. Look, she may have been assaulted by the man, but she didn't tell us we couldn't vote for him.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Wow.
I'm watching this whole thing going on with Joe Biden. And again, I do not believe the most salacious of Tara Reid's accusations. I just don't. They don't make sense to me. And she went over him again a couple of days ago with Megyn Kelly. I forget exactly when. And she brought up the whole "you mean nothing to me" finger pointing thing, which is still, I can't get that image out of my head of him pointing a shining finger at her. She never directly told us it was the same digit, but you tend to be right or left-handed, right? Anyhow, I don't believe the most salacious part of it. I do believe the rest of it because it's perfectly within line with everything we've seen of Joe and with culture at the time, office norms at the time, that somebody in a position of power might think it was okay to comment on a woman's legs. But with the strength of the rhetoric around the Me Too movement, like AOC's, let me read that again. If you are an elected official that minimizes, which she just did, covers for, which she just did, or ignores sexual assault, which she just did, then we will replace you by electing survivors to office.
Did somebody put either one of those side by side yet?
Yes, that's actually how I saw it.
So are they putting Tara Reid up as the Democratic national candidate?
Not as far as I know.
No, they should, shouldn't they?
I'm used to hypocrisy in politics. I really am. But seeing it rubber band this fast has been unnerving. I mean,
unnerving.
Yes.
Interesting way of putting it. Why is that?
It's hard to believe the world is real.
Okay.
It's hard to believe that somebody like AOC could say that and then turn around and go, well, she never said we shouldn't vote for him.
Well, okay. Well, saying stupid things isn't exactly news for AOC.
She's not the only one, though. We saw the articles where, like, look, I believe her. I think he sexually assaulted her, but I still am going to vote for him. Please stop asking those of us who are going to vote for him questions because you're making us lie to the press.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm like I said, hypocrisy. It usually takes an administration change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To see one side's flip flop, like suddenly you support war, suddenly you don't, suddenly high taxes are okay, suddenly they're not. That kind of thing. It goes back and forth, and it seems to generally go based on who's in power. This is only a year out.
Well, I think part of it has to do with just the availability and easy access of referential information when it comes to people's quotes now because of video clips and Twitter and everything else, and people getting more used to using that as a tool for comparison. The other thing, too, is that they've made such moral absolute declarations about Trump's behavior that, or those associated with him, that they leave no room argumentatively for anyone on their side when something of like happens now. There's no sort of somewhat gray areas or reasons to sort of stave off from commenting too much. No, everything's got to be an absolute righteousness or an absolute evil. And then when the script gets flipped, which happens all the time, and I don't understand why they didn't see this coming. I mean, Al Franken, for God's sakes, they thought that was going to happen again in some fashion. They won't be called out on it. And there you go. And of course, the other thing too is that, you had all this time to vet Biden. Tara Reade's accusations aren't new. They were out there before all this started. But you guys got all behind Biden without questioning anything. You just sort of threw up your hands and said, well, I guess it's going to be Biden. This is your own fault. This is your own fault.
In fairness, in regard to that, at least, he had pretty much secured the nomination before she dropped the second shoe, before she dropped the big bombshell.
No, I understand, but all the same, he had accusations against him long before he even got into the race.
Yeah.
A little bit of vetting of it. I mean, if they had found a way to dispel the accusations before he became the nominee, okay, but they didn't, and nobody seemed to care. And now it's an issue because he's got no cover. He's got no other competitors to deal with. It's just him. So this is going to be a real test of his and the party's ability to, I don't know, make some sense out of it and sound like they're legitimate in any way, shape, or form.
I get you. I think part of what you said there is very, very true. The ability to check on what people said, because it still disturbs me that nobody in the press has given Biden any shit for saying that his public statements could be used against him.
Yeah.
Like, what? So we are in a different age that way. But again, I mean, it usually took a sea change, and it was usually, okay, a new president comes in, something they have to deal with the same thing the last president had to deal with. So now we see the change. This, I mean, the whole moral thing you said, they took such a moral stand against Trump, and not necessarily even against Trump, against Kavanaugh. A lot of them did this with Trump as well, but like AOC, nobody knew AOC in 2016.
Well, I mean, Kavanaugh was an avatar for Trump. They were using Kavanaugh as an indictment of Trump at all. He was an extension of the kind of mentality that Trump had introduced into the political process. I mean, he was within Trump's orbit. And so, ta-da, anything dealing with Trump or anything that Trump wants to have happen is suddenly evil. And they went to such an extreme with their depictions of what evil is or what counts as a crime against humanity that you can't roll that back. And there was an election coming up. Did they think there wasn't going to be any scandals with whoever they picked on their side of the aisle? I mean, the lack of foresight on this is just incredible. It really is.
Three-sided coin says Tom Elliott, he's the guy who tweeted the part about AOC, omitted the first part. It certainly seems as though something has happened. I'm not sure. And Tom added the Tara Reade never said don't vote for Joe. I'll have to check that out because he has that in quotes. I'll have to go listen to the actual NPR thing. But by her own statement before, Joe should be out. Joe should be out. There's far more evidence against Joe than there was Kavanaugh. Far more.
Okay. Real quick, guys.
Send me that link if you would, three-sided. Go ahead, Satsu. I'm sorry.
I just saw an article. It says attorney who leaked Ahmaud Arbery's lynching video. Oh, they're calling it.
Wow.
Is that okay?
All right.
Thought it would clear his friends and said if the jogger had just frozen and stood still instead of fighting back, he'd still be alive. That was the quote of the person who released the video.
Yeah. He thought, because apparently down there where this happened, there were rumors that the guys had like a Confederate flag on the truck, and he did this to prove that his friends weren't racist, and instead it proved they shot a man in cold blood.
Wow, is that?
That's true. Yeah,
that is the reason why he was filming it.
No, that's the reason the tape got leaked.
Oh, the tape got. Wow. Okay.
He leaked this tape. He had been a what do they call it? Informal advisor on the case with them, and he was given the tape, and because of the rumors that were going around, specifically the Confederate flag on the truck, that he decided to release that tape he was trying to clear his friend's name. Whoops.
Yeah, oopsies.
Oops. Yeah.
Well, let me see. It says McMichael, who is an ex-cop, had worked with an investigator in Johnson's office until his retirement in 2019, causing Johnson to recuse herself from the case after the shooting. shut them down to protect. She shut them down to protect her friend Michael. Glenn County Commissioner Alan Booker told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They were told not to make the arrest, quote, added Commissioner Peter Murphy.
Oh, wow.
Directly to Glenn County Police about the incident that the officer said was a probable cause for arrest before this had even taken place. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, all this information is still coming out about who knew who, and it's a hot ass mess. That's what it is.
But with that, guys, we're going to move on. It is time for questions, comments, concerns. Throw them into the chat. I'll do my best to answer them and get these guys to say horrible, mean things to you guys in the process.
What? Not
what?
I never say horrible things. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it just that whole thing. To be clear, read the transcript. This does not seem like a full transcript of the articles. There, a three-sided coin sent me because he said that's not what AOC said, and I'd like to read the transcript. This is not a transcript of the article. What did he say over here? I've only read I just searched the word vote, and it says AOC will vote for Joe. Well, see, AOC voting for Joe, that's that kind of goes against what she said about Kavanaugh, doesn't it? Still?
Yeah. I mean, it's still a contradiction, but yeah, that quote that was given, apparently that was made by her. What is it? Is that in there?
I'm trying to see. If anything, it sounds like she simply wants to be heard, talking about Reed. It seems as though she does not feel she's been heard yet. Well, no, she hasn't been heard yet because for the most part, she was ignored for months, a month.
Throughout this whole thing, yeah, I haven't heard anything from her.
This is not a transcript. This is a story that you sent me, unless you sent something else. This is a link to a story. That's not a transcript. The transcript is the written words that they actually spoke to each other, back and forth. Anyhow, let's get on with this. I bought some pretzel-flavored goldfish today. Am I a Judas in Scribe's mind?
No. I'm not some kind of goldfish nut. I like classic cheddar goldfish. You can like whatever you like. I'm not a goldfish bigot.
Can you sing to my dog's 16th birthday? Her name is Savannah. I'm not singing to a dog, sorry. I've sung to one dog, and that was SDA's dog when she was on the show.
That's an old dog, though. Congratulations.
That is, yes. Happy birthday to her, and I'm glad she's still with you, and I hope she brings you lots of love, but I'm not singing to a dog. I apologize. Did you ever try for SSI disability? Yes, it was I had private disability as part of my old job, and one of the things they required you to do was try to go through SSI, and yes, it was turned down. Oh lords, have you guys been watching my D&D streams with Sinatra, Ghastly, Drunkle, Phil, and T-Tac? I gave you guys a little cameo a few streams ago. Oh, I haven't been watching them, Lamented Guide. I heard they're a lot of fun. Drunkle says they might be a little bit frustrating for people watching. I don't know how true that might be.
And since Monkey and Satsu aren't interested in tabletop games, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch for the people involved. That would just be fun. Satsu, would it be inappropriate for me to stream the Plague game you gave me while you guys are streaming? Also, thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, so Scribe, the way we do our giveaways,
yeah,
you earn points on the channel.
Yes.
By playing the little games in the chat and just watching the stream, you get points accumulated over time. And you can use those points to buy tickets.
Right.
And the maximum amount of tickets allowed to be bought at any time is 250 per any person.
Okay.
And we were doing the giveaway last night, and a whole bunch of people bought tickets. Some people bought 100, some people bought 200, some people bought 20, 50. Like it ranged all over the place. Random American won the giveaway last night. He bought one ticket.
Yep.
Yeah. And it goes to show.
Ticket.
Just goes to show anybody can win.
And I'm just like, holy shit. And right before I clicked to reveal the winner, he said that he was rigging it with one ticket. And everybody was like, oh, that I couldn't believe that shit, dude. And Random, you are you can stream that game whenever you want, man. We're still gonna be playing 7 days after this, but if people who usually watch us would rather watch that, that's fine. You know, you are entitled to stream whenever you want. Just have fun. I want to do the fake news one. They got a new fake news thing on there. Did you guys see that on Plague Inc?
Oh yeah, I have. I've tried that mode. It's fun.
I want to do that. I think that'll be fun as hell.
It's kind of a pain in the ass. Once you start to, I've never beat it. I haven't beat that one yet. My disease was named CNN. Thank you. My fake news was named CNN. And it got about, you have to get halfway around the world. About half the world's population have to believe your bullshit in order to win. And I got just under half. And suddenly they started telling the truth and CNN was defeated. If only. Will these people complaining about Trump wanting to open the economy be complaining in 6 months that he didn't open it sooner?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's going to be the if he waits to open it and complies with what everybody is saying, and things get really bad. Yeah, that's going to be the narrative. Once everything subsides and the pandemic thing kind of dies down and things are kind of under control, they're going to be like, yeah, he waited way too long.
Yeah, here's a scenario that I'm sure won't happen. That somehow in the post-mortem of this whole situation, just to be punny about it, it is discovered, and again, I'm just guessing, that the actual threat, the actual danger, etc., was overblown to some significant degree, and they'll look back and say, why didn't Trump understand this wasn't as bad as they said that was?
Mm-hmm.
You know, etc. We could have avoided all of this or something. No matter what happens, good, bad, up, down, sideways, no matter what, it's all going to be used for political propaganda for whomever wants to win, and that's either one of them. So, and Trump will get the worst of it because he's in charge. The buck stops there. But the thing is, like, no matter the outcome, he will have done wrong, no matter what. And anything that they might have said that would have gone along with that same thing. All right. Oh, hey, Undoomed is in the chat.
Hey, Undoomed, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, Undoomed.
What's up, man?
It'll depend on what happens.
Yeah.
If they start reopening the economy and people don't get sick and things start, picking back up, he should have done it sooner. If people start getting sick again, they'll be, he should have told people not to open.
Yeah.
There's no win with that. I mean, it's politics. Affable Sage, thank you for the question, who says, hey, where's the proof that Trump was following the experts in his response to the COOF? I've been arguing that he was following the WHO, and they don't believe me. The simplest one is pointing to the fact that in mid-January, they were still saying that the WHO themselves on January 14th said that the virus was not transmittable person to person. Mm-hmm. As soon as I believe that it came out, I want to say it was the 28th, that, this can be transmitted person to person. And it was on the 31st that Trump closed the border, closed down flights between China and us.
Yeah, and they called him racist for it.
Yep.
He got called a racist.
Look at the timeline in January.
Yeah, for responding. After they said there was no way to do it, and then saying, oops, there actually is. He responded almost, what was that, 2-3 days later?
Yeah.
And closed the border, and they was like, yeah, Trump's a racist. This isn't the time for your xenophobia, Trump. Yeah. That's when that happened.
Sorry, chat jumped on me. I'm trying to find out where we were. I get my PP touched 4 to 5 times a day by pretty women. Do you think becoming a paraplegic confined to a nursing home was worth it? I feel like that's a extreme manner to go about it. Did Antifa die, or are they beating the elderly in the shadows?
Oh my god.
Everybody stopped paying attention to him, so they went away. Oh lords, would y'all try bacon and chicken cheesy noodles, a side of Scottish garlic bread? What makes it Scottish? And a steel can of sweet lemon.
It's Scottish because it was covered in whiskey.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Satsu, have you played Rebel Inc. yet?
No.
That's made by the same company who made Plague Inc. I played it. I didn't care for it. It has a very Plague Inc. feel about it, but you're trying to keep rebels from taking or attacking your little island that you're building up. I didn't think it worked very well myself. Yes, please come watch us over on 2 Cents Plus playing some Fallout 76. There's everybody saying hi to Undoomed. They never say hi to me like that.
Right.
You guys mentioned, do you have any articles or video proof asking about the Trump following the expert advice? You can, you know what? Let me see if I have that. I don't know if it's. Here's a timeline of what all happened that you can go check out. Trump's response is right there, and you can look at what the WHO was saying at the time. Lords of the Night, did you see Markiplier along with his friend Wade played 7 Days to Die, where apparently every night was a blood moon night? We saw that he'd been playing, but I didn't know he decided to go every night blood moon.
Yeah, it was Wade's birthday or whatever, so he was like, let's play some 7 days. We're gonna celebrate your birthday and do it right. And he was like, so now that you're here, every night is Horde Night. Happy birthday, bro. And yeah, it was pretty funny. But they're idiots. Like watching them play that game is it's pretty painful.
It hardens my arteries, man. I'm watching this going, learn to play the game.
But then again, like, you know, we know all the shit about the game. So it's like it always be like that for people who like you play a game and you know it inside and out, and you're watching somebody who barely knows anything, and they're just like, I don't know how to do this. You got to do. You're like, no, that's wrong. That's not correct. You could just do this. Like when they were throwing their weapons away instead of repairing them at the beginning.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck are you doing?
I'm really glad to see somebody with that kind of audience is playing the game. So hopefully the game keeps getting support.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like when big YouTubers latch on to games that I enjoy.
But I can't watch it.
Yeah.
It's too painful. It's too painful.
I'm
Who would
jealous
win in
of
the
views,
Oh,
but,
go ahead.
you know.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, as a person who's been playing it already, I'm jealous of their views, but you know what?
Sure. There's always that part of it. Who would win in a fight, Webster or Arnold from Different Strokes?
Webster, because he's got the secret passages to escape and sneak up on him.
I feel like Arnold probably has 5 or 6 pounds on him. He could take him.
That's true. Plus, he's probably like 10 years older than he is.
What happens if Biden goes into the debate stage and says, seriously, who am I? Why am I here? He won't, but...
Yeah. I mean, I would laugh. And maybe he'd get a couple of points for being self-aware, but at the same time, it'd effectively be a confession.
Nut says, yes, we do. You ignore us. How dare you? And Kyle says this because you're not YouTube famous. Well, that's true, but it's still hurtful. Devil Fruit re-asked the same questions. Did you not hear my answers? I answered both of those. We kind of laughed at the Antifa thing. They're just beating him in the shadows. Oh, Lords of the Night. What is a scary, thrilling song from a Gamma/movie you guys like?
A what?
A what?
A scary or thrilling song from a Gamma or movie you guys like?
Gamma?
I don't know what that is. I'm just reading it.
I think they meant game.
Oh, could be game. Fair enough.
Well, I mean, the first thing comes to mind is like I think one of the best video game soundtracks of the last 10 years or so is probably Max Payne 3. It's just such a great great original soundtrack for that game and the setting and everything. So some of those songs, there's one called Shells that by itself I just like listening to. It's just great, like sort of like angry music, sort of that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Man, I like too many soundtracks from too many games to make a pick, man. There's too many good ones. Like one that really stands out to me, or at least stood out to me back when it actually existed and people could actually obtain it. The Scott Pilgrim game, the beat 'em up. That fucking soundtrack was lit, dude. And it was like, that old school kind of 16-bit. Man, I loved it. I just listened to the music in that game. It was legit.
Well, on games, I turn the music off. The only soundtrack I liked are in GTA games, and the only one I really liked was San Andreas. I turn music off. It annoys me in a game. Movie, I can't think of a scary song. Also, when y'all have an SDA back, I don't know. Guests are not planned in advance usually, guys. And certainly not with any kind of long-term thing. If you want to see painful, you should see my last episode for 7 Days to Die. Did it go rough, Kyle?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Lord, see no evil, see no good, or see no trouser snake. Mata, you need help. Lords of Night, what are you guys doing for Mother's Day? We had a big dinner tonight, and we have big plans for lunch tomorrow. All the kids are up, but my daughter has to go back home, so they're leaving midday tomorrow, so we're going to have a big lunch tomorrow.
I bought my mother some flowers, or had them delivered at least, and I will be calling my mom to wish her Happy Mother's Day because she's where she is and I'm locked where I am.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's all I can really do. And I mean, Squishy, she brought home 2 racks of ribs, and she was like, "This is what I want for my Mother's Day." I'm like, "I got you, baby. Hook you up." So, I mean, cooking for my wife, calling my mom, and wishing her a Happy Mother's Day, and that's it.
I can't call my mom. Pyrus says, no, I mean, he literally doesn't know the answer, talking about Biden. No, I understand what you meant. That won't happen. They'll make sure he has plenty of rest beforehand. If it did happen, I mean, probably nothing. They'd play it off like, oh, Joe was just being silly because of all the jokes that have been made. Because what else are they going to do? Replace him at this point?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, the right is taking a joke made by Biden and trying to use it. There'll be some narrative, I'm sure.
Attack Alpaca says, who would you like to see play Captain Marvel rather than Brie Larson? For me, I don't care about Captain Marvel, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. I always thought, I mean, if it had happened in the years where they were talking, like there was a fake poster that came out where they took the, oh God, the lady who played Starbuck, who suddenly I forget her name. But anyway, they put her in the outfit and like put her face on it and everything. And I thought, yeah, she'd make a good Captain America if they had to cast somebody. Or sorry, Captain Marvel. But yeah, I mean, Miss Marvel as rendered, it was always nice to look at in the comic books, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, I've never been like a big Captain Marvel super fan. So I could have done without the movie actually being in the MCU. I think there's plenty of other cosmic characters they could have used, male or female. So,
well, I don't know. Like, I didn't know a lot about Captain Marvel, but for whatever reason, when they announced, the movie, and I was like, oh, Captain Marvel, I think I heard of that before. I was picturing a black lady. Like, I thought Captain Marvel was originally a black chick.
I'm forgetting if she was at some point. I think she might have been. I'm not a Captain Marvel historian, unlike a lot of other comic characters. So it could have been.
She was.
Was she? Yeah, there was a big Afro girl version.
Yeah.
Like the 70s or something. Yeah.
That's what I was. I'd have been cool with that if they, But I don't know, what the story would have been, or if it's different than whatever they present it now. So, but that's what when I heard Captain Marvel in my mind, that's what I pictured, and I'm like, oh wait. This isn't who I thought it was. So That's my ignorance, I guess.
Devil Fruit says, my bad, I must have missed it. I'll go back later. I think yours was the first question I answered, Devil Fruit. Rerun from What's Happening would mop the floor with Webster and Arnold. He would also mop up a mean gravy plate with him. He was fat, for those of you who didn't know. Still one of my favorite jokes from a TV show ever. Because Roger's mom used to always spank him, and she was going to spank him one day, and she didn't have a belt, and Rerun goes, here, use mine, and pulls it off. She goes, Jesus, Rerun, I want to beat him, not hang him. Lords of Night, did you hear for the next Aquaman movie they want to make him gay? No, but sounds right.
Mean, Aquaman's pretty fucking gay.
He should be making love to a manatee.
His name's Seaman. Lords of Night, have you seen all 4 Scream movies, and which of the 4 were the best? I've not seen number 4 yet, and my favorite of the three that I've seen is probably actually the first one.
Yeah, I think the first one was fine the way it was, and one of those things that it doesn't need any sequels, but of course it's going to get sequels, so whatever.
I didn't mind it. And 3 was better than 2, in my opinion. 2 was just too much of the same.
Yeah, I'll give you that. 2 was just a carbon copy, effectively. 3 was, relatively better. Yes.
Undoom says Air Mech the best music. I have no idea what that means.
No, I don't.
Kyle says he died 4 to 5 times last night on his stream. These things happen. Have you guys seen Car Wash starring George Carlin and Richard Pryor? Down at the car wash
time ago. Yes.
I've never watched the whole thing. I know of the movie and I've seen bits and pieces of it, but never sat down to watch it. Oh, let's see. Any of you guys seen the movie Sinister?
No, I've seen all the posters for it, though, or the box art kind of thing.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, Doom says it's a game, had great music. My chat must have wanted me to read that because it jumped right at the time he said it. And Undoomed, I would have invited you on, but we're just at the end here going into questions. Anytime you want to come on, my friend, let me know. Yeah, because guys, we got 8 more minutes. Don't forget to come watch us over on 2 Cents Plus. That's the number 2, CENTSPLUS, playing some Fallout 76. It's a lot of fun, and you should be there watching. If you're watching this, you have 10 minutes to watch that. I listened to Reddit Scary Stories. Is it surprising that there are already several corona-related stories with people interacting with paranoid neighbors? No.
Nope.
Nope.
Sounds right. There's already COVID porn.
I'm waiting for the first either television series or movie plot set during the pandemic.
Oh, it'll come.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it'll be like a period piece kind of thing or some kind of drama. Or someone writing a book where the story, there's a murder mystery in the midst of a lockdown, and then they have to what's the complications there, or something like that.
Oh, Lords, what 2 polar opposite game franchises would you mix together? Note, you do not have to keep either of the games' gameplay the same.
What was the question, sorry?
What 2 polar opposite game franchises would you mix together? They don't have to keep their genre style.
Oh, polar opposite.
Let's see. I'm not sure what you mean by polar opposite.
Animal Crossing and GTA.
Ha! Dude, that would work.
I'd play that. I'd play the shit out of that.
Resident Evil and Fallout 76.
Yeah, there you go. Raccoon City.
Yeah, just the same kind of metric with the online gameplay, and you can play with other people, whatever. But in Raccoon City with zombies, and when you die, you can turn into a zombie and shit. That'd be fucking awesome.
Ever watch the old Legends of the Hidden Temple game show on Nickelodeon? Long time ago.
Yes, long time ago.
Oh man, that was my shit, dude.
I never liked that one because I always felt that they were stupid kids who should have done better.
Yeah, they were pretty dumb. They got lost a lot. They had to direct the kids in the right direction because they got lost a lot in that show.
I like Double Dare.
Guts
That
was
was
shit too back in the
Double
day.
Dare. Every time they would go through the end part and they have to find the flags, and the idiot would get into the big tub of oatmeal and they couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I was always hoping that they wouldn't because I wanted to watch them fail.
You're a stand-up guy.
Well, I didn't get to do it, so they shouldn't get to either.
I was actually on Double Dare once. Not like it wasn't televised, but I was on it when I went to Disney World, or not Disney World, Universal Studios. It was fun.
Did you get all messy?
No, they did the goo thing. I did the game where you had to flip the it was like these goo covered sponges or whatever. You had to flip them over into something. I can't remember exactly what the rules were, but we lost. So
would the Guardians of the Galaxy visit Raccoon City? I see what you did there. Doom and Animal Crossing. Holy crap. Devil fruit.
There you go. Might as well. They've already like mixed it up on a whole bunch of memes and shit.
Doom Animal Crossing.
What's going on? Sorry, I'm reading people talking in chat to each other. You're supposed to be talking to us, damn it. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. That's part of the great part of this community is that you talk to each other as well. Your friends, your brothers.
I don't remember giving them permission to be friends.
Your humpers.
Humpers?
Does anybody in the audience hump anyone else in the audience?
I mean, we got some couples in there, I'm sure.
We do.
There's a couple of married couples in there, like Blind Press and Pincalo and so on. There's others.
It's weird. You think they ever hump while they're listening to us?
I don't want to think about that.
When I'm talking, yes.
Pincalo, do you hump while we're on? How's Squeetus doing?
She's good. She is becoming more and more vocal by the day, and learning all kinds of new sounds, noises, and she's going through the separation anxiety phase. So whenever we literally leave the room, she has it's so funny. It's almost like flipping a light switch. If you poke your head into the room, she's like fine, and you poke it out, she's like you poke your head back in.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, girl, you are so obviously full of shit. But yeah, she's adorable, so it's okay.
Why is Scribe such a blue pineapple?
What?
Mata wants to know why you're such a blue pineapple.
I have no idea what that means, so I don't know.
Mash says, everyone wants to know, Ranting Monkey, I got Chaos Eve to join VR chat. When are you going to join the fun? Probably not. You want Satsu for VR chat, not me.
Well, you don't need VR to play VR chat. You can just go in there with a mouse and keyboard. And
I'm fine
with VR.
Okay. Pincalo says more times than you want to know. No, I want numbers. I'm going to set up a scoreboard next to my desk here.
I want stats, damn it.
Most zombies you've killed in one attack. Jesus, I don't know.
It depends on the game.
Yeah.
Man, when we played DayZ, right?
Yeah, dude.
No, that's not DayZ. That's
Oh no, you meant World War Z.
World War Z.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We mowed down a fuck ton of zombies.
Oh yeah, man. I've had explosions on certain games that's killed hundreds at once. So, fucking Dead Rising. That's another good game for a shit ton of zombie kills at once.
Same with what's out? Yet another zombie game.
Oh yeah,
killed a bunch of them on there. Yeah, I have no idea how many. It'd be easier to tell you how many I've done. The least amount at once would be one. Stop talking to Undoomed. He's a bastard.
What?
He can't say anything back. He doesn't have a microphone right now.
That's true too.
Take it, Undoomed. Take it off.
He has no choice.
And now's as good a time to wrap up as any. Scribbles, where can they find you tomorrow?
So 8 a.m. Pacific time over on Tailed Features channel. I'll be doing my 7th edition of Learning Scottish Gaelic. And then I may be doing a TED Excellence tomorrow. I will let you guys know in the wonderful world of Twitter.
All right. And right after this, we will be over on 2 Cents Plus playing I Shall Have My Revenge. God damn it. It's got a bigger audience to deal with. We're going to be playing Fallout 76. Nuts has just dropped the link there for you guys to come hang out. Please do so. It's a lot of fun over there. Chat, thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are so very generous, and I really do appreciate it. Scribe, Satsu, a pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, you can find us Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time over on Satsu's channel. We'll see you there. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Your lives make me sad.